Brand new Village Vice. He's Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. And you remember when March used to give you not a whole lot to talk about? You remember when March used to just be kind of dead and there was nothing going on?
Not anymore.
Not that way anymore. No, it's a constant news cycle. And we're going to talk about it, including now, Zach, a week and a half away from A-Day.
Wow.
And I also remember the day when A-Day was the big event of the spring. It was the thing you counted down to. It was your only chance to get really excited about something Auburn related. And that's just not the case anymore either. But it's coming up soon. And we got and people got to see a little bit of practice yesterday.
They did. And I was among them. And we didn't see a whole lot. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing as far as all of this. And look, where I was standing, where I chose to stand, I wanted to watch the defensive linemen. And it was interior guys on, in one group, and it was edge guys / strong side defensive ends in another. I watched those guys a good bit. I kind of kept catching myself just tracking Jamonta Waller wherever he went. Number 11 was fun watching him operate. Not as tall of a guy as I kind of pictured, but his arms are so long. Just standing straight, he can almost touch his knees because his arms are so long. And so that length, I think, is going to prove to be effective for him. But I think just looking at Waller, I think looking at TJ Lindsey, I think looking at Joe Phillips, all freshmen, the future's bright. It's just we've asked this question a million times. What kind of impact can we get from them year one?
6'2". Waller is 6'2", and I think
I don't buy it. I don't buy that he's 6'2". And look, I love Jamonta Waller. I'm repping him today. Like, I love Jamonta Waller. I have a hard time buying that he's 6'2".
Really? All right. See, I'm thinking typically at that edge position, I'm thinking 6'3", 6'4", maybe 6'5".
Yeah, right.
And so you're saying you don't even buy 6'2". What's Jalen McLeod?
I just don't think he's that much taller than me. Just standing next to him. Like, I don't know. He's built, right? And his arms are so long, and he's compact, and I think he's going to explode and have a dangerous first step. This is not me saying that I don't think he's going to be good. It's just he's not tall.
Yeah.
Like, he is not a tall pass rusher.
Yeah. You're not the NFL scouting guy, the NFL combine guy looking for the tape measure and making sure that he fits in a particular demo. What Jalen McLeod's listed at 6'1". Is he not taller than Jalen?
No.
I'd like to see him side by side.
I don't think so. I took a video of it. I'll send it to you later. We can kind of compare notes. Yeah.
I like to see him side by side on the field too. What if you put Jalen McLeod, Jamonta Waller side by side on the field?
I think you're going to have to do some stuff like that because is my internet okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, we're fine. Okay, got it. I'm just weird things are happening on my screen. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think we're going to have to see multiple Bucks on the field at the same time at certain stints of the season, unless they just really address the pass rush. But like, you can love Keldrick, Falk, and McLeod on the other side, kind of being your bookends. But at some point, especially if they don't take the step that we all think that they can, I'm expecting them to, but if they don't, you've got to get creative and maybe you scoot Keldrick inside and you have two Bucks on the field, right? And you have a McLeod, you have a Keldrick, and then your other, on the other edge, you have another Buck. Maybe it is Jamonta Waller. But I think this defensive line is going to need help with personnel in regards to pass rush. So, I bet you do see it, Brad.
Do you feel any differently? Not better, not worse. It could be better or worse. Any differently about the defensive line after watching a few segments of a few practices in the spring?
I feel worse about it.
Really?
I think the interior is an issue. Yeah. I think they're going to have to add. They're going to have to add and make it a priority. I think defensive tackle is going to be a priority in the transfer portal. I do think a quarterback will leave, and they're going to have to replace a quarterback. I think they're going to peak at wide receiver. That's not one I'm like too motivated. Like, I don't think that that's the right move, and we can have that discussion if you want to, Brad.
Is that a difference after watching spring practice, or did you kind of feel that way going in?
About the quarterback, I felt that going in. Or wide receiver?
Wide receiver, yeah.
I don't think that changes anything. Because I think the mindset still would have been, I'd rather just throw it, get extra reps and targets to Perry Thompson and Malcolm Simmons
Hmm.
than I would some older guy that may not be here, 2 or 3 seasons. I'd rather kind of invest in this very special young receiving core that you've got.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I think in the spring portal, the priorities are going to be get another quarterback. Now, what tier is that quarterback? I don't know. Go out and get maybe one wide receiver, but the rest of your NIL budget has to be defensive line. Has to be.
Okay. All right.
Do you think
You're
I'm off on that?
well, see, you've seen more of the practice than I have.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I know that was a question going into spring practice. I haven't been able to put my eyes on them yet to see. Um, I know I like the experience of Trill Carter and Gage Keys, and I like their build, and I like their experience in power conference football, and
Yeah.
I like all those things. Is that different than, say, a young receiving core, which has a lot of talent, but they haven't done it yet? And you've got some experienced defensive linemen that just haven't done it at this level yet consistently. They haven't been the guys consistently. I I don't know.
The opinions and the feedback that I'm getting on Trill Carter and Gage Keys,
Mhm.
I mean, it's two different stories, right? I'll talk to some folks and say, yeah, they're really overachieving. They're going to be, they're going to be a big factor for us on the defensive line. And then I'll talk to somebody else within the program and say, yeah, we need more defensive linemen. So I don't know. I don't really know what to make out of that. I will say, if you look at what Gage Keys did in his previous 2 stops, he was a rotation piece. He was a
Mhm.
rotation piece, an effective rotation piece, but still a rotation piece at Kansas and at Minnesota. And we've seen guys transfer up to larger schools, to a higher level of competition, and be more effective. Like, we have seen that,
Yeah.
but that is a little bit more rare. Like, for the most part, especially by this point in your career, like, you are who you are.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Like, I'm just skeptical. Like, I'm pulling for both of them, and I could see the path for both of them being effective in the SEC. I need to see it first, and I'm just hearing a lot of different things about those 2 guys.
That's fair. That's probably based a little bit on expectations too. Is do you expect them to be 50 plays a game guy? If you
Well,
expect those
and
guys,
they
yeah.
need them to be. Like, I can't imagine. And look, no, I like both of these guys. I've interacted with one of them a little bit more than the other, but I like them both. But you just can't tell me that Hugh Freeze and this staff, like, their plan was for Gage Keys and Trill Carter to be, the 3rd and 4th best defensive lineman on this team going into 2024. Like, I'm just not buying that. I'm not buying that. I think there's a plan to get more defensive linemen in the spring. I think there was a plan to get more defensive linemen this past December, and it just didn't work. That is my guess. I'm reading in between the lines there.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I think that's a logical opinion, and we'll find out. Obviously, once spring is over and that portal window opens, we're going to find out we're going to see who they go after and who they're able to get to bring in. So
Yeah,
you need other depth pieces at the very least.
you
Like
have to.
even if
Yeah.
yeah, even if these guys are your third and fourth best D lineman, then you need other pieces. So, and we've also seen guys make that move up. Look, frankly, when we talk about making a move up to Auburn from another level, there aren't that many places where Auburn is not a step up. You
Right.
know,
Right. And
so
that's just the product of being an SEC team that's not, Vanderbilt.
right,
Yeah.
correct. So I don't know that you go get a guy who's been a frontline starter at a school that's had more success recently than Auburn, and you get them to come to your program. So,
Well, to me,
somebody's
that's
going to
what's
have to
so
play up.
yeah, well, that's what's so appealing to me about Trill Carter and Jaron Thompson is they
Mhm.
know, like, these guys were on a roster that went to the college football playoff. I think they're the only 2 guys on this roster that can say that.
Yeah, and
And
Kite,
right.
the cornerback. Yeah,
Yep, Antonio Kite from Bama. You're right. So, like, 3 guys on Auburn's roster that can say that, and it's like, okay, great. And all of those guys are expected to play
yeah,
at different levels, obviously, but, Thompson and Kite, I think, will either be starters or heavy rotation pieces. And Joel Carter is probably the first guy off the bench when you look at the current state of the defensive line,
yeah.
pending, potential moves happening this spring window. So it makes sense. It makes sense. They just got to, I think they're close, Brad.
Yeah.
I think they're close. They just need, I think they need 2 guys that are better than all the guys that they currently have in the defensive line room. And can you do that in a window? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and you can't count on this, but do you think that either of those guys has the potential to do what Marcus Harris did? And that is go from a three-star guy who's from your area, but he went to Kansas, guy who transferred from Kansas and completely changed his professional prospects over the course of 3 years at Auburn. Totally transformed.
Yeah, and like we said, there are guys who have been able to do it, but for the most part, like, you are who you are.
Yep.
But he also transferred earlier in his career from Kansas to Auburn, and so and he got a little bit better every season. It's not like he just came and appeared from Kansas and was the player that worked out for NFL scouts this past week. Right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Auburn's pro day and what we can expect from some of these Auburn guys at the next level. That's coming up on this edition of Village Vice. I want to tell you about our friends at mybookie.ag. The thing I love about MyBookie, and it's a long list. It's a long list, but you can use them anywhere. Some people are saying, well, I can't do this because I live in whatever state. I don't know how they do it, but you can do it at mybookie.ag. And right now, when you make your free account and make that first deposit, use promo code NEXTROUND, and they'll add some extra cheddar to your bank account. Look, opening day is tomorrow for MLB. The NCAA Tournament Sweet 16 games resume. You want to pull for those Tar Heels? You certainly can. But you want to make sure you're ready for all the action. And that action is over at mybookie.ag. Use promo code NEXTROUND. You can get that extra money added to your account. You'll hear it go bloop. That's the money being added. Mybookie.ag. Use promo code NEXTROUND.
You can pull for the Tar Heels, but to put your money on the other team. They're going to the Final Four.
You're still waving that flag, huh?
I want to make sure that the Auburn family, that our villagers are prepared for what's going to happen. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I was talking with Isaac Shade is his name. He hosts Locked On Tar Heels on the leading North Carolina podcast, and I'm like, I don't think y'all are going to win, but man, I really hope y'all do.
Yep.
And he's like, why not? I'm like, it's just how this thing goes, man. Like, it's just how this thing goes.
Isn't that funny? That's a legitimate foundational response is, I don't know, man. That's just how this goes.
So, yeah. I mean, the last 10 years, it's just how it's been.
Yeah.
So,
why does the roller coaster loop like that? I don't know, man. It just does.
It just made it that way.
It just did.
The way the world works. Yep. That's right. That's right. I guess another thing that happens is like Auburn defensive backs are continually underrated by the NFL. I am shocked at the lack of respect. I'm not shocked. We should have seen this coming.
Yeah.
But like how DJ James is not getting the amount of love that he probably should. Like, when are we going to learn here? And there's so many people in the NFL draft circles, and I covered the NFL draft. My first kind of like my entry into digital media was me starting an NFL draft site. It's called the Draftster.
Yeah.
And everybody loves to say, scout the player, don't scout the helmet, which there is some truth to that. But at some point, it's like if a school is continually cranking out players at a certain position and the same coaching structure is there for all of them, like, you should probably scout a little bit of the helmet as well. And if you're drafting an Auburn corner right now, you should feel pretty good about your standing here. And I just don't fully get there's always something, right? Like, even going all the way back to Jonathan Jones, who like ran the fastest 40 in that class, but everybody's like, well, it's a pro day, so it's unofficial. And it's like, watch his tape. He's faster than everybody else.
Yeah.
And then like Carlton Davis, it's like, oh, he's too grabby. He uses his hands too much. And it's like, well, he won a Super Bowl. Jamel Dean, it's like, does he have that explosiveness? Can he stay healthy? Because he got hurt when he was at Ohio State. There's always something. Noah Igbenogany, it's like, well, he hadn't been playing corner that long. It's like, well, normally you care more about traits and production anyway. So like, pick what you're doing here. And then Roger McCreary's my favorite, that his arms are too short. It's like, watch the Iron Bowl from that year and tell me his arms are too short. Are you kidding me? So now DJ James's thing is like, is he fast enough? Like, does he just have that pop? And it's like, come on. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I love this. Can I tell you my new favorite segment of Village Vice? My new favorite segment is get Zach wound up about Auburn defensive backs being disrespected.
Those it's just I love corners. I
Yeah,
love corners. That's
I
my
know.
favorite position to watch in all of sports. And it's just the ignorance of some of this. It's like when Roger McCreary went to the Titans, it's like, okay, like that's a steal. That's a
Yeah,
steal. And I've got some friends that cover the Titans. They're like, is he good? I'm like, just hold on. You're going to love him. You were going
yeah.
to absolutely love him. And they did. And he did. He was one of the best rookie corners in his draft class. So I think DJ James is that same guy. I think Jalen Simpson, not a corner, but I do think he is being disrespected. Nehemiah Pritchett, I talked to a lot of folks down in Mobile when we were down there for the Senior Bowl covering these guys, and there were scouts that loved Pritchett more than DJ. And I'm like, okay, that's great for Pritchett. I don't agree with you, but like that is great for Nehemiah Pritchett. So I do think all three of them get drafted. I think two of the three are going to be way too low, and they're going to make a GM very, very happy in the near immediate future.
So it doesn't matter to you, DJ James. I'm on some random site that thankfully color codes measurables. All right. Granted, it's not the best metric to use.
Okay.
But they've got DJ his weight. Does he not weigh enough? 175 was his official weight. His hands, I guess, are a little smaller than what a typical corner in the NFL would have. You hear stuff like that and just make smoke come out of your ears. You're like, just watch the guy.
At corner, yeah. I think at
Yeah.
receiver, you've got to look at some of that stuff. At running back, you've got to look at some of that stuff. But DJ James, like, did you ever watch him at Auburn and think, man, he would be so much better if his hands were bigger?
Yeah.
I didn't. That didn't cross my mind once.
Right.
That didn't cross my mind once.
You talking about when he's going against the best wide receivers in college football week after week? And teams aren't
you get
throwing
halfway
to
through the
him?
game and you're like, where's DJ James? Like, oh, he's covering their best receiver and you don't notice him.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
I love it.
Way too early today for you to get me riled up like this.
I love that so much. You know what else?
The
I love?
only thing, I'm sorry, Brad. The only thing wrong with DJ James is like, could he be a little faster? Sure. Could he be a little taller? Maybe. We see corners his size, excel all the time. I've asked him this multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Once was on Locked On Auburn, once was down in Mobile, just because I can't get over it. I can't get over his answer, and he doubled down on it, so we must believe it. Auburn has arguably too many chicken finger options. They have too many. So I asked him the question. I was like, what is your favorite chicken finger place? And he has doubled down on Fusakli's, which is the most wrong answer you could possibly give. So, like, maybe scouts see that and they're like, decision-making? Maybe that's it. Yeah. Chicken finger preference? Let's knock them down around? I don't know. But that's the only thing I could find wrong with DJ James.
That's interesting. What's your
favorite chicken finger place? Go.
I don't, gosh, I don't know. I can't tell you the last time I ordered chicken fingers.
Yeah.
I don't know. For nostalgia, maybe Guthrie's.
That's the answer.
For
don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
It's a chicken finger. Chicken fingers are the same. All chicken fingers are the same.
No, they're not.
All chicken fingers.
One, the chicken finger. No. One, the chicken finger is not the same. And the sauce, Brad, the sauce is so important.
But what you're just admitting to, Zach, is that the chicken finger could be the same if the sauce makes the difference. So you're asking who has the best chicken finger sauce. By the way, I will say this. I went to a highly reputable place in town, a restaurant, Sunday afternoon after church, took the kids chicken finger meal at this place that everybody knows and loves. And I'm not going to name the name because I'm just drag them.
Well, you've narrowed it down a little bit. It's not Chick-fil-A.
Worst. That's a good point. No, and this is a sit down. This is not, they don't have a drive-through. This is highly reputable. Again, everybody knows it.
Now, wait, you sat down, like, is their thing like specifically chicken fingers?
No. And that's kind of the point is
they serve chicken fingers.
This was a kid's meal option.
I understand.
Kids meal option. Worst chicken finger I have ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
I'm talking about it was awful.
That's insane.
So if you want to know where, like if you're going and you have kids and you want to go to a place and get them chicken fingers because you want to have adult food, like brisket tacos, which were delicious. But
understood.
But the kids meal, stay away from the chicken fingers. Man, oh man.
Interesting.
Worst ever.
Yeah, I mean, a good place, a place that has a good kids options. I mean, that's important. It's
is.
important because if the kids' food is bad, like the whole meal is just
Oh,
ruined. It's
yeah,
over.
yeah,
It's done. So
yeah.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Sorry to get so passionate about chicken. I haven't had chicken fingers since October, and I miss them. I miss them so much. People are like, "Yeah, you're losing weight. That's great. Do you miss anything?" I'm like, "Yeah, I miss chicken finger. I miss fried chicken more than anything. Burgers, wings. No, I said what I said. And the sauce.
Yeah.
But it's
It's
worth it. I'm down
uh,
58 as of this morning, baby. Let's go."
that's so good, Zach. Yeah, let me tell you, you wanna go back, watch some old episodes of Village Vice.
So who's that guy?
Zach, yeah. Yeah, it's like you crawled out of that guy.
Yeah, who's that guy? That's right.
So good.
All
Cornerback
right.
and chicken fingers.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Corners
Sorry
and
about that.
chicken.
Sorry about that.
No, don't you hey, no, sir. Don't you dare
Just the
apologize.
passion. Just the passion.
I love it.
The rough night last night of the Blackerby household. Everybody wanted to throw up. So
After they ate what?
chicken nuggets, not from anywhere specific. They were frozen. We've eaten them 1,000 times, but saw a little too much chicken nuggets last night, which there is a difference between chicken nuggets. And these were shaped of the dinosaur variety.
Yeah, Dino
Yeah.
Nuggets.
All right.
This is my favorite show in a long time. By the way, Zach, I got to tell you how you can take care of your own personal chicken nuggets, and that is with our friends at manscaped.com. If you go to manscaped.com and use promo code VICE, that's VICE, you're going to get 20% off and free shipping. Chicken nuggets with the coating, that's not, no, okay, I'm going to stop there with the chicken nugget reference. Listen, instead, I'm going to talk about spring break. And spring break, you got to keep your boys downstairs fresh and clean. Nobody wants to be the guy with the ugly downstairs region. It's why our buddies at Manscaped created the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It is the ultimate weapon to tame those unruly bushes and nether regions. Before you hit the pool party, make sure your boys are groomed to perfection. All you got to do is go to manscaped.com, get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code VICE. And if you do that, if you order the Lawnmower 5.0 as a part of the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, they'll throw in the Weed Whacker because nobody likes the, pesky nose and ear hair. It's gross. Make sure your nostrils stay pristine with the skin-safe technology. It prevents nicks, snags, or tugs in all those sensitive holes. You got to do it. You got to do it. Shave yourself. Promo code VICE. That's vital. That is absolutely vital to get 20% off and free shipping with our buddies at Manscaped.
What a ride. So KD Johnson's entering the transfer portal.
He could play cornerback somewhere.
Maybe.
Don't
go to Auburn. You'll get underdrafted at corner.
Yeah. You got
Goodness
the measurable.
gracious.
Yeah. And I don't say this specifically about KD. I think we all know by now that basketball rosters, if you have a football roster where 4 or 5 guys leave, well, that's what, 3% of your roster. It's not as noticeable depending on who the players are. If 3 guys leave off a basketball team, that's a lot. That's a quarter to a third of your meaningful players. So KD's playing time went down every year. He's got 2 championships under his belt. He's a guy like Devin Cambridge, I think, that people will enjoy watching him next year wherever he lands.
It's a good comparison.
Nobody had any ill will toward Devin. I don't think he had any ill will toward Auburn. And I think it'll be the same thing with KD.
Yeah, I think KD's in a situation where he could go somewhere else, get more playing time, get more shots, and I think fill out that box score a little bit more. And I think the writing was on the wall. I think other guys will transfer. I think this is going to be a very fluid situation this offseason. And I guess the Auburn basketball roster is a little bit different now because there are some dudes that I think Auburn is going to have to fight to keep from going pro. Janai Broome is obviously one. I'm interested to see what Dylan Cardwell does. I think he's pretty interested in going overseas to play basketball.
Yeah.
Lior Berman is another one. And those are all guys you want back. I would assume, I could be wrong, but I would assume you want all those guys back. But if not, they're gonna need to get another center or 2, depending on what happens with Janai Broome. And shooting guard and point guard have clearly become a priority. So this is going to look like a very different basketball team.
Yeah.
In just a few weeks, I'm calling it.
I'm going to say this is going to sound really like self-righteous and holier than thou, but here's the way I look at
Ready for it.
Transfers and guys, and we're not necessarily transfer guys going pro.
Okay.
If a guy gets to the end of his college career and he knows what the college game is all about, and he's put in a lot of time and effort and sacrifice, and he's been good to Auburn, and Auburn's been good to him, and he wants to go try his hand at the pro game, awesome. You go, you do you go get what you need to get out of your career. This is now your career. You've been preparing for your career, and now go start your career. I don't like, if they want to go, because I think that, and I don't say that in a negative way toward any of those guys. That's a legitimate, like, no, I genuinely wish you well and hope you have awesome success. As you pull it back into the program, I think the staff has shown that they're really smart in the way that they build rosters and the way they deal with guys coming and going. And they fully embrace that that's going to happen a lot every year. It's where we are in college sports. And so I just trust them to keep the wheel spinning at the same rate that it's been spinning of late, no matter who goes pro or leaves or comes back.
Hey, can we give a shout out to just two folks real quick?
Yes.
Real quick. We haven't been good about promoting this, but we would love for you to consider being a member of the YouTube channel. All you have to do is click join down below. Want to give a shout out to Walt Taylor and Richard Thibodeau, who are members of War Dam Pod's YouTube, part of the War Dam membership. But this is something Brad and I are talking about behind the scenes. We want to kind of do more exclusive content. And so please consider becoming a member, and it would support us and support the channel and help fund some kind of potential creative stuff that we could do to members only in the future and over the off season. So we ask that of you, and it would mean a ton.
Basically, those guys are the Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs of Village Vice. They're kind of the first two in on the ground floor. And so, Walt, Richard, we appreciate it very much. We are, as Zach said, I don't want to just repeat it verbatim, but we're going to do a little better job of providing some content and coming up with some perks of being members. So, yep, click the join button. We do appreciate it, and we can't wait for – this has been an interesting ride so far, Zach. We started in August, and here we are now. It's the end of March, and there is no slowing down, and we're excited about what's coming in the future.
Yeah, no question. No question. So you either love this episode or you hated it. There's probably no in between, but that about does it for today's show, Brad.
I'm going to say most loved it. I know I did. Hey, look, we loved it, and that's a big part of this deal. Until next time, everyone has vices. Don't let them tell you they don't. Everyone has vices. Yeah. Some are chicken and cornerbacks. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.